Oh,
Hi, how you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm baking hot, as I'm sure you are as well.
I definitely am. I'm trying to stay cool. I've actually got a fan going on, so I hope it's not too loud.
Yeah, I've got a fan on and the windows open. So if
Yeah.
you hear, but I'm near a main road as well. So if you hear any funny noises, forgive me. All right.
Okay. How have you
But
been?
yeah, I'm not too bad.
Hmm.
I'm at a transition point in my personal life with a couple of things which I've shared with you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, things are settling down. I'm in the middle of moving location and some other work as well that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just getting settled really. But yeah, other than that, life is good. Can't complain too much.
That's
What about you?
Yeah, it's all good. I'm in prep at the moment, so I'm just doing the do, being I'm very much in robotic mode at the moment. So, just very monotonous in what I'm doing, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the training. I'm just, just working towards that goal. I've not been on a stage in 3 years, so it's nice to be back doing what I enjoy,
That's great. Which leads
as
me
in
on
the
to
prep.
yeah, which leads me on to my next point. It's a delayed introduction. Firstly, thank you for coming on, Michelle. Um, your handle says it all. Pro posing coach, and that's just to name one thing. You're also a pro bodybuilder, I believe. Uh, personal trainer and martial artist or former
Yeah,
martial artist.
yeah.
So thanks for coming on. Speak to little old me. Uh, right. It was an honor to have you on, Michelle.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
So then, there's a couple of things I'd like to speak to you about. Well, there's more than a couple, but obviously we're short on time. Um, how long have you been training for, Michelle?
Oh God, I've been doing weight training since I would say 2014, and I kind of happened upon it because I was doing martial arts for a good 10 years and it had a couple of injuries, and that's how I happened upon getting into the weight training side of it all. So yeah, probably since 2014 is when I really started to focus on bodybuilding, basically.
Which martial arts was it? Was it karate by any chance?
It was Tang Sudo,
Right.
a Korean style
Yeah,
martial
yeah, yeah.
arts.
I'm familiar with what that is. It's almost like taekwondo, but Korean, right?
Yeah, kind of similar. Taekwondo is slightly different, but the Tang Sudo, when it came to competing, you had contact, you could kick to the head and stuff like that. So yeah.
Right, right. Okay. And how long were you doing that for?
Oh God, probably over 13 years, I imagine. A long time, a long, long time. I enjoyed it. Yeah, about 13 years.
13 years. What made you get into martial arts?
I had a lot going on in my personal life,
Right,
and it just gave me a focus. I was going through a separation at the time, and I had a young one as well. So it just gave us time away from home to just go and do something else, gave me an outlet as well. And I had some really good friends who were also doing it, and that's how I got into it. And yeah, did that for 13 years basically.
good stuff. And do you find any of that has helped with your bodybuilding?
Absolutely. It's kind of helped with the foundation of just making sure that I am diligent with what I'm doing. Basically, because with Tang Sudo, it was a case of you had to really master your basics and your fundamentals and just rinse and repeat them daily.
Right.
And it's the same with bodybuilding.
Mhm.
You have to really just stick with it, be consistent with your journey, and that's what I took from Tang Sudo, those core values, to really take ownership of it, and to just those skills alone just correlated over into my everyday life, really.
Excellent. There's transferable skills. Excellent.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of bodybuilding, is it the PNBA pro that you acquired, or was it?
So I first got a DFAC pro card, back in 2017, I think it was, or was it 2018? And then a WMBF pro card, and then in the latter years, a PMBA pro card as well.
Excellent. So which category or categories was it?
So my DFAC pro card was for figure. And then in 2018, I went and competed with the UK DFBA. And my physique didn't quite match their criteria. So I competed as figure on the day, and then they invited me to compete again that day in bodybuilding. And so my pro cards thereafter were in bodybuilding.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of was bumped up from figure to bodybuilding.
Right. Yeah, because looking at your structure, it's hard to tell what category, whether I would say trained figure or bodybuilding. Um,
Yeah. So of more recent years, I'm reverting back to figure.
yeah,
Figures where my heart is at. So yeah, I'm not going to be competing in bodybuilding again. I just think I'm a very tall person. I've got very long limbs and I've got lots of gaps to fill, and I look very dangly when I get on the stage. And figure suits me better. I've got that structure that's required, that X frame that's required for that category. So I'm more suited to figure.
definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. Um, Now, in terms of the posing, um, what made you kind of really zone in on the posing and make that your thing?
My own personal experience. So I last competed in 2023, and I remember being on stage and not feeling completely confident with my posing. I won't lie, I wasn't very good with my posing practice in my prep. It was very last minute. It was only in the last 6 weeks that I thought, right, you know what, Michelle, you better kind of start doing your posing practice. But when I stepped on stage, I really felt the effects of that. And then having got my stage photos after and looking at them, I could really see how poor my posing was.
Absolutely.
And it was really
Yeah.
bad. It was like, it was cringing. It still is. And that's why you don't really see much of my photos on social media for that for that last year that I competed. And that's how I got into it. So I reached out to Emma Hyman, had a chat with her about what it was that I wanted to do. And I just knew that she was the person that I wanted to go to because she's been in the industry for so very long. She's very, very knowledgeable about posing. I just think there's no one here in the UK who is better skilled than her.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that if I was going to be delivering a service, I went to somebody who could give me the insight, who could give me the background that I needed to provide a service to my clients that was worthy of myself calling myself a posing coach. So that's how I got into it, just from my own personal experience. So I take my personal experience and it's like a passion. I want my clients to not have that feeling that I had when I stepped on stage, that disappointment. I want them to be able to step on stage, feel confident, and really taking ownership of and responsibility for their posing. So when I say taking responsibility, again, not doing what I did and just pushing the posing to a side because it was hard. There wasn't enough time. Training took priority. No, I want clients to understand that posing is important, and posing has just completely changed. Like the landscape of posing has completely changed. People are on it, like
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
literally. And you really do have to make sure that when you step on stage, you can't allow your posing to be the factor that lets you down. So as long as you have been diligent with your posing practice, you step on stage, you've got no control thereafter.
Yeah.
You only have control of how you present yourself. And that's why it's important for me as an athlete and as a coach that my clients can step on stage and feel really confident in what they're presenting.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, one of the reasons that I've reached out to you is because of your posing work. I've done okay. Like last season was my best season to date, and I've only really honed in on the posing during prep. So I completely can identify what you're saying, and I know it can be improved. Although I did okay, it's those extra bits of percent that could have given me a better season. Um, what I wanted to ask you as well is, because obviously you've competed in two categories as a woman, how did you kind of get to understand and become an expert on some of the male categories like the classic? Because I've seen that you work with Michael, and his posing is spot on. His posing is spot
Yeah.
on. So how did you manage to kind of do that?
Again, I put it back to one, how I was taught. So being in the studio with Emma is intense. So we really do break it down. She really does break each category down for you. And because I also did bodybuilding myself, I kind of had the base fundamental skills there to understand what it is that you're trying to present in in any one circumstance. So it was a case of learning from her, applying those skills, but also for my own skill, and also just staying current with bodybuilding. You know, watching the pros and seeing what they're doing, and just making sure that you're just staying current with that. That you're able to transfer that over to your own skill set and bring that to your client as well.
That's very interesting.
Mm.
And I'm glad you're saying that as well. Now, uh, some people that know me and have probably seen my stage photos would know that I've got scoliosis. There's nothing I can do about that. So one post that you put up a few months ago really gave me some comfort. Now I can improve the scoliosis, and I have done, which I'll hopefully be demonstrating next time I step on stage. I have improved it, but it's never going to be perfect. You put a post up saying something along the lines of, and I'm just paraphrasing it, um, don't don't copy the pros. They've got different limb insertions, and um, it's not about replication. It's about optimization, and it's about um, hiding your strengths and exposing your weaknesses. And
Exactly.
that resonated with me, because that's gonna help me a lot with my rear shots in particular, because I've been paranoid about them. Let's be honest.
Mm. Yeah. I think for a coach, because I have worked with a few clients who had the same condition with you as well, and it's having each athlete in the studio in front of you and really looking at them from the ground upwards. And you can easily identify when an athlete, without them telling you sometimes, that something's not quite right there.
Yeah.
And you start posing them, you start maneuvering them, and you're thinking, something's not right there. Do you by any chance have any difficulties, blah blah blah? And once they reveal that to you, say, right, great, that's good to know. I need to know that information, because then we will then have to kind of hide that in your posing. We work around it. We take ownership of that and we work around that. And that's what I've done with a couple of my clients in the studio, and it's worked very well. They feel comfortable. They
Hmm.
don't feel as though, oh my God, this is really going to be a stopping block for me. No, we embrace that and we move forwards with it. So it's about adapting and improvising for each individual. And that's why I think it's important that when you get a client in the studio, you can't just apply the same techniques to every single one. You've got to change it. You've got to look at the athlete in front of you and then say, okay, so this works kind of, but
Mm.
how do we make this better? How do we hide any imperfections that there may be? We all have them, and we just have to learn how to work around them, hide those weaknesses, and really display the strengths.
Excellent. That's excellent. Um, Next point is, in terms of the shows you're doing. Do you mind sharing what shows you're going to be doing, or, or,
um
or, do you want to keep it a
no
surprise?
pressure. Do you know what, I've purposely kept it just on a low key, just because I haven't competed in 3 years, and I do feel a little bit of pressure, just saying which shows I'm doing. I think for my first show, I just want to be able to do it, get it out of the way, and then
Yeah,
thereafter
yeah,
speak on them.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, particularly because also I'm not doing bodybuilding anymore. I'm doing figure,
Right.
and and that's why I've been really, really purposeful, of just not saying which shows I'm doing. I'm a certain number of weeks out, and yeah, I've got quite a few shows lined up, but yeah, I'm not going to say.
Yeah, no, no, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one. Especially in this day and age, it's almost as if people, particularly the younger generation, they feel obligated 4 weeks out, 6 weeks out, blah blah.
Yeah.
That's fine because that's all they used to. But me, I like to just turn up and then you'll know after, you know. So
Yeah, exactly. I just want to rock on up, and I just want to enjoy the day. The people that I want there will be there supporting me, and I just want to do myself proud,
mm,
and and give them a show as well. Let them see why I've been so quiet and why I've been so focused, and just doing me, and so they can have an understanding of what it is that I've been working towards.
will you be competing as a? He's asked that much. Will you be competing as a pro in the pro league straight away,
No,
or
I won't be. No, I won't. No. Simple reason is because again, I got my pro card um in bodybuilding,
right?
and I want to see if I can earn a pro card in figure. So I'm more than happy to relinquish my pro status and just compete as an amateur and go and have fun and see where I land, where my physique lands. Because again, things have changed so much in like the
Mm,
last 3 years. Physiques are just outstanding, exceptional. And as a master athlete, I want to be challenged, and I want to be able to step on stage again. It's about me versus me, and I want to step on stage being a better version of what I was in 2023, and that's important. So yeah, I'm excited to just go as a rookie kind of thing,
please, come on.
and people will think what. But yeah, I just want to go have fun, and like I said, see where my physique lands, and then take it from there.
Mm, interested. It, you're playing by the rules, but I think you do have an advantage. But you're playing by the rules. It's a different category.
Yeah, well, there's a lot behind that as well, and the reason I say that is it's something very close to my heart, and I got my figure pro card way back in I think it's 2017. I'm pretty sure it was the DFAC World Finals. That's when I got my pro card for that category. And then the following year, 2018, I think I got my WMBF pro card for bodybuilding. And I did a few pro shows, but I never placed. So
Right,
that suggested that my physique wasn't good enough.
right,
But I had this pro status.
right.
And what I wish I knew now is I should have just stepped away from competing and just spent a good few years building a physique that was pro worthy. Because, like I said, the landscape of physiques has changed so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And I was competing against athletes who had more mass, who came in better conditioned. And each time I got on stage, I was exposed to that. I exposed myself, and I didn't place, and rightly so. And that hurts. That really hurts. And I had to overcome that. And so when I stepped on stage in 2023, same thing again. Stepped off stage distraught. And it took me a long while to get over myself. I won't lie. I went through
Hmm.
a whole series of emotions.
Hmm.
And then once I started seeing sense of things, and I then changed a lot of things. Like I had a new coach that I was working with. I had new structure and all the rest of it. And I won't lie, the last 2 years have been bloody brilliant, where I'm I'm just enjoying the journey. I really am enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the way that my body is transforming. I'm enjoying that I'm a master athlete, and I'm still changing my physique, and that makes me smile because I see it as aging backwards. I've got that power to do something, and it's not just about stepping on the stage. It's about me, and it's about just trying to preserve what I've got for as long as I can, and show up, you know, the best version of myself each day. You know, I've got a young son who, you know, I admire, and I just want to make him proud as well, and just to show him that it's never too late to make a change. You know, if you don't change things, it's always going to stay the same. And it's just little messages like that that I hope people take from my own journey. I don't boast about it. I just do me,
It speaks for
and
itself.
that's it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
speaks for
yeah,
itself. It speaks for
yeah.
itself. Good. How old is your son?
He's 24.
He's 24. And that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
my baby.
Yeah, 24 years old. I mean,
I know.
you look incredible to have a
Oh,
son that is 24. I was expecting you to say like 14 or something.
no.
24. Grown man.
24. I'm an old girl. Trust me, I'm old.
Yeah, it
I'm
speaks for
old.
its Asian black. It speaks for itself. This is a fine example in terms of not having to say too much. Um, things doing what they say on the tin, right? The fact that you're in the shape you're in, you're a lifetime natty. You got a son who's 24, and how you look is proof in the pudding.
Thank you.
In terms of longevity and lifestyle, the proof is in the pudding. You know,
Definitely.
um, that's great. And what's your current not training split, but how many days are you training during your prep? 4, 5,
5 training days. 5
5
training
training
days.
days.
So I have 2 leg sessions, push, pull, arms and outs.
Okay,
Yeah.
and in terms of your coaching, or are you being self-coached apart from the posing? Because I've seen you've been working with another posing coach, although you're
Yeah.
learning yourself. Are
Yeah.
you doing it self? You prepping yourself, or do you have a coach?
No. Oh, hell no. I'd be a nightmare to try and prep myself. No, I'm working with Zach Frothnam. He's my prep coach. I've been working with him for the past 2 years.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I said I had a previous coach and I just made changes, and it's been a good partnership.
Is he an online coach or just a face-to-face coach?
No, no, online. But I do see him. I've seen him quite regularly since I've been working with him. He always likes to have those in-person check-ins. I check in with him weekly, but and I also travel to go and see him so he can just see the physique itself. I was up there probably about 2 weeks ago for him to see me. So yeah.
That's great. And maybe I've missed something, but I'm not really seeing you being tagged in a coach's. This is why I wasn't sure, because
Yeah,
these
see,
a
I'm
lot of
not that.
coaches.
Yeah, it's I every so often I'll tag him, but yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
tag every so often.
yeah.
It's not necessary. I'm doing the work. He knows I'm doing the work, and he sees my check-ins each week, and that's it. If there's anything that he needs to call me out on, then he'll do so. But yeah, I'm just doing the work. I don't need to prove to him I'm doing the work by tagging him on in every single bloody post that I do. I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
I think it would be rather annoying for him because he has many clients, but occasionally I will tag him, but I'm not going to be a weekly person, a person that tags him weekly, so to speak. So that's why you haven't seen much. I'm not
Yeah.
hiding it. I just don't. I just not.
It's not
Yeah,
necessary.
it's
Yeah,
not necessary. I
yeah.
think that's the problem with social media and what you do and what you don't share, and the assumptions that people make. It's just me doing me, and that's it. I mean, I share a lot of my training on my stories, but that's more for accountability,
Yeah,
really. So, for example, doing a leg session, I film my leg session, and it's I don't have a training partner, so I film the set, and
yeah.
it keeps me accountable. Right, Michelle, you need to get this. So when I film it and I share it, that's just for me staying accountable to myself, particularly in prep as well, where
I've
things are
seen
getting harder and harder each week.
seen your workouts, and it's made me check myself. I'm like, is that what she's pushing? Do you know what I mean? It made me check myself. Trust me. It's making me check myself. So there's some great strength, and in fact, you're in a deficit. I'm only, you know what I mean. If you was on in a surplus, this plate's been added, and I'm not silly. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's just, and that's another thing. It is exactly that. I mean, I have people that I do follow on Instagram who I am inspired by, who have been in prep, and I look at them and their training, and I'm like, when you get into prep, Michelle, you need to be maintaining that. You need to for as long as possible. You need to be sensible, but
Mm,
at the same time, you need to be able to maintain that what you've achieved so far. So that's the mindset that I go into each of my sessions. It's getting harder, I won't lie. I have to have a whole conversation with myself on the way to the gym in the car. And then when I get into the gym, I kind of just switch on and
mhm.
just get it done.
Good stuff. It's great stuff, Michelle. Um,
Thank you.
what what advice would you give to um, now? I did want to touch on this point, but at the same time I didn't. They're short on time as well, but
Mm.
obviously we can catch up another time. But I did want to touch this point. Now, what you're doing is inspirational across the board, but in particular, right, as a woman from the black community, you know, it, I'm glad that you are showcasing so many things about this game because I don't see enough women from our community representing the way you are. Um, and I'd like to know what kind of advice you would give, particularly women from, say, my generation and up. I mean, you don't look like you got many years on me. I'm not going to ask your age, but you don't look like you got many years on me. So I say from our generation up, what advice would you kind of give to even start? Because I don't see many in the gyms or on the stage.
Yeah, I don't think it's because black women don't want to do bodybuilding. I think it's more about exposure, culture, access, and being encouraged to get into to weight training. Um, I think it's about the representation. They don't see other black women in the sport,
Hmm.
and so don't really want to go into that area because they're not being represented enough. And I think if I were to go back and give myself advice, and I mean, I got into it, I would have started a lot earlier. I definitely would have started a lot earlier. It's not about the bodybuilding aspect, it's more about the um, trying to maintain a healthy body
Yep.
by weight training. There's so much talk now about it's important for men and women to weight train, and the results of doing so, the longevity that you're going to be bringing to your own lifestyle. So I would definitely say start earlier, do little and often, and just make sure you eat your veggies and your protein and veg
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And if you do want to get into competitive bodybuilding, then to get a coach who you get on with, who you can talk to, who you can really have a conversation, raise any concerns that you may have,
Yeah.
and put your trust in them, because that's what you need to be able to do. They need to be able to guide you through a process where they can see you at one point to the next, but at the same time there has to be this synergy between you where you are able to have conversations where there may be disagreements, but you are able to reach a conclusion that works for yourself. And that's the most important thing. You have to put yourself first, but you also have to respect what the coach is doing as well. So you have to be able to work with that coach, understand the coach's methodology, and just make sure it suits you. So
Yeah.
my advice is, do your homework, really,
Hmm.
really do your homework, do your research, and talk to other athletes as well. Talk to other natural athletes. If you're thinking about going down a different route, talk to athletes who are doing the same thing as what you're potentially thinking of doing. Just But don't be put off.
Yeah.
Don't be put off. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Don't be put off. I think if I listened to the narrative that was going on around me at the time, I could have easily stopped, but that wasn't going to happen because I know what I'm like. I can be stubborn like that. Once I know what I want,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'm just going to go after it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would just say, do your research, do your homework, ask questions. Don't be naive. Don't rock on up to your first show not having gone to a show like I did.
Mm.
So many things went wrong with my first show. Went in the wrong suit. So many things, but yeah, it's all an experience. And this
Mhm.
again is why I share my experiences through my clients and also what I post on my news feeds on socials.
Excellent. On that note, Michelle, I'm going to bid you a good day. Looks like we've run out of time. So
No,
thanks for so much for coming on, and we'll speak soon.
yeah,
And
thank you for
good luck
having
with the
me as
season.
well.
You take
Thank
care,
you.
Michelle. Good
Take
luck.
care. Thanks.
Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.